It's the DORK podcast. It's the DORK podcast. Rich Keith. It's the DORK podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Razzle Von Dazzle. He is promo code Ron Von D. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm caffeinated. I'm ready to go. You know, I'm drinking, coffee and soda at 8:45 at night. Let's fucking go.
What soda are you rocking right now? Gotta know.
The cream soda. I got the straw. I got the mug.
That sounds nice. I noticed you did a drink recipe this week.
Did you try it? I wanted to know if anyone tried. Oh yeah.
You know what?
Sweet.
I'm not a huge Jack Daniels guy. It's gonna sound crazy, but that's not really my cup of tea.
When there's a bourbon that's a little bit smoky, right? If it's a little bit kind of like burny, if you mix it with something sweet, it's not as bad.
Okay.
So if the sweet and the sour, you balances it out.
Because when you pulled out the blazing black cherry, I went, huh? I went, like this. It got my attention. And then you pulled out the Jack Daniels. You know what? Maybe not for me. But I was wondering this. Could you go blazing black cherry with a little bit of the rum?
So I was saving the rum for something else.
Okay, fair enough.
So not to tip my hand, but the rum's going to go with the cream soda.
Hey now. Ooh, I like the sound of that very much.
Yeah.
All right, I still got to put my order in, but I'm going to do that. The other thing I wanted to say, another thing that we're promoting here, is we are also now on Facebook. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're saying, Rich, Facebook's a little old. I'm pretty sure my Nana's on Facebook.
Yeah, what is it, 2002?
It is true. My Nana is on Facebook. And yes, I got originally on Facebook back when only certain colleges could get on there. And I remember seeing Facebook through friend of the podcast, Shark, because his college was approved before mine was. So during one of the vacations, I was at his house and he was like, he's like, look at this thing. He's like, you can go on here. He's like, you can kill a lot of time. And I'm like, oh, how do you get on there? And at that point, the main screen just had the colleges that were approved, and you had to use a college email to sign up.
And everyone was bullshit when they opened it to everybody. Bullshit.
Yeah. So I was in college. I think it was I want to say my junior year.
Yep.
They opened it up to Hobart, like the Hobart email worked, and I jumped in. And then the rest of my college was only college students. And then it wasn't shortly thereafter that all of a sudden it was like everybody.
All the degenerates went to MySpace.
There was a big flood to MySpace.
And like it was like little kids and like people who didn't who dropped out of school.
And Dane Cook.
And musicians used MySpace.
Yes.
But we were, not to brag, this is a weird brag, but like, you remember in the Social Network when Mark Zuckerberg did like the initial tour of like New England colleges with Facebook? St. Anselm College was one of the first ones to adopt it.
Shout out to
St. A's
Ryan Davey. The notable alums of St. A's would be Ryan Davey and Tom E. Curran.
And that's about it.
There's got to be others, but those are the ones we're going to mention here.
Okay.
And so I understand Facebook is a little bit older, but what we wanted to do.
Yeah, let's get back to the point here. Huh?
The point, Ryan, is I'm glad you circled us back to it. The hashtag Dork Shared Gooniverse is a group of podcasts. There's 4 podcasts, a couple of Twitch streamers, and then from each podcast channel, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on whatever else. But it's a place where you can kind of post everything. So I find this to be great. If you're bored and you want to keep track of everybody, you'll know whether Davey is streaming on Twitch or Shime is on Twitch, or if Mac and Goo have a new episode, or if Rossi and Billy D from the Pop Culture Pile Driver have a new episode, or if Fryer and Wesley from the Change My Mind podcast have a new episode. We're just constantly, our guy Dr. Joe, if he's streaming video games, if all that stuff is on there, it's an easy place rather than just like a random website or something. There are people using Facebook. I personally don't use it a lot, but we're on there, and even if you're not on there a ton, throw us a follow, throw us a like, or whatever the fuck they're doing now. I don't even know. Do that. That's cool. So the Shared Gooniverse, you can see us on Twitter. We also released a video.
We did
a fantastic video quoting one of the great movies of all time, right?
Yeah. And this is a great idea. And to be fair, it was not our idea. So I think
our names in it.
Goo approached us with this idea, and it's a great way to like streamline everything is that we do. Yeah. So for instance, like Shime, Joe, and I are coming up with a stream schedule. So because always like tonight, for example, like I would be streaming, Shime would be streaming, and Joe would be streaming, and we'd have like 4 or 5 viewers. we were like, all right, nope, tonight's Joe's night. We were just in Joe's stream. He had like 16 people. So like we're instead of crashing into each other, instead of like,
it's a lot of the same people want to.
It's a lot of the same people.
Watch,
So like just to streamline everything it just makes too much sense not to do it.
And the same thing. I know a lot of us are doing podcasting on different nights, especially now in like the fact that everybody is podcasting in this way. Like Davey and I podcast this way anyway because of where we live. But even
we
the
are
guys
pioneers of this.
We were already doing the socially distanced podcast, but everybody else is doing it, and so they're streaming on different nights. So again, it's perfect for right now. There's still not sports, at least for another 3 weeks, and then who knows how long they're gonna last. Hate to be an asshole with that, but you just never know. Anyway, so we're gonna be doing this, and because like you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, it's tough to kind of have like map out a schedule or like to post for everybody's stuff or whatever. So anyway, check out the Facebook thing. All you have to do is search the hashtag Dork shared Gooniverse.
Fucking right.
It's the Gooniverse. That's what I got, Ryan. All right, let's get to the news, shall we?
Let's do it.
This week in Dork. Yeah.
I love that.
I need to find that hat. I don't know where that hat went.
If you're watching on the stream, I've added little stingers to each one of these things, so I don't have to edit. I literally don't have to edit and post now. Which
that was a July 4th Hartford Yard Goats hat. I gotta find that hat.
Hartford Yard Goats. That's a nice little lid you had on there.
That was good. Yeah,
Brian, we got some good news here. Well, actually, I believe it's good news. I don't know how you feel about this. Ozark, it did get picked up. Obviously, season 3 kind of left you on a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
it was picked up for a season 4. They're gonna do what Breaking Bad did and what Mad Men did, and did The Sopranos? No, The Sopranos didn't. But a couple shows have done this where the last season is split up over 2. Game of Thrones. So Ozark is going to be 14 episodes. The 4th and final season is 14 episodes, but they're going to split it up. 7 episodes here, and then I don't know how long the gap is going to be, but then another 7 episodes there. What do you think of that?
I love that. I mean, I love the idea. I mean, it's not going to be... I'm glad it's 14 episodes, but I'm glad it's not... You don't have to slog through it all at once.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
I'm fine with it. I don't mind it. I loved it when Breaking Bad did it, because you can just kind of like sit back, and I hated it when Game of Thrones did it. So it's
Game of Thrones do it that way?
I thought they did like 4 and 4.
No, I don't think they did. I think they did. I'm pretty sure they didn't actually. I think what they did was they did like shorter season, whatever the last one was, 7 maybe, and then a shorter season 8, but the longer episodes. They weren't all 10. Yeah. They weren't 10 episodes, but I don't think they split it like Breaking Bad.
No, they were just shorter and longer, like shorter number of episodes, but longer episodes.
Do you think Ozark is splitting the season to try to be more like Breaking Bad? And they're like, "Hey, we're sniffing our own farts."
They're just leaning into it. Yeah. They're like, if you're going to keep comparing us to Breaking Bad, we're just going to lean into it.
We're just going to end it the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Other good news for TV stuff is Curb Your Enthusiasm picked up for an 11th season.
Amazing. And how long was this? This show was gone for years, right?
Like a couple of years. They took a little bit of a hiatus. Yeah. Last season was great.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
You didn't watch it?
I've got like halfway through it. It's just one of those things. Like, I don't know what happened.
Really?
I know. It's in The Wire.
You can't watch everything. You know, I've heard people say that. I got
sucked in. I watched 3 hours of Hamilton the other day. I just found out. Get to the news. So
you watched the Hamilton musical?
Oh yeah,
thing on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
any good?
It's great.
I feel like I'm not gonna like it.
It's
I've heard some of the songs because my niece loves it. So I've heard a bunch of the songs, and I'm like,
in context, it's a lot better. And we were talking about it, like Casual Ken Border and I were talking about it via Twitter, and it's just like Lin-Manuel Miranda is a good singer and he's a good performer. But when you hear him sing like next to an actual like Broadway singer, you're like, this
must be the guy who wrote it.
And I told the story on stream about how I had to so Keith and I went to high school with a kid who wound up being the musical director of Hamilton. And I had to fucking follow that kid in a music recital.
I've never heard a human play the piano like that kid.
And I had to follow him.
Tickle the ivories.
I had to follow him, and he could fucking sing too.
I would have walked out. I would have been like,
I was just like, just give me my fucking beat. Just let me get out of here. Like, oh my god,
I got my fingers hurt. I got calluses.
Look, they got the fucking calluses. I can't. Yeah.
Or just
That was
like
brutal.
walk, like slip and fall on your way up.
Like, yeah.
Oh!
Or just like I played with my teacher who hated me, so I just wanted to like elbow him, like take him out.
Not good.
But yeah.
Ryan, we have a pick of the pod.
Yeah.
Carl Reiner has passed away. 98 years old, though.
98. Him and Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks is like 98 too.
98. Nothing to sneeze at there.
And they were like, I was reading stories like the day he passed. I was reading stories about him, and he's just a fucking cool, like nice guy. And him and Mel Brooks and I forget someone else would have dinner like till the day they died, like the day he died. Like they would like, get together and have dinner.
Carl Reiner, good in the Ocean's movies.
Oh, he's so good in the Ocean's movies.
Good in the Ocean's movies.
Yeah.
What do you think of this little slice of news here, Ryan? Jason Momoa, you would know him from Aquaman or Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. There ends the list. But he has been cast as Frosty the Snowman.
I don't fucking
live action Frosty the Snowman.
Like,
movie.
is it just his voice?
I don't get it. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, what?
I like.
Is he doing? He's
like
taking a page out of like
Snowman with just jack guns and tattoos.
No, I want the schlubby. I want the schlubby one from the cartoon.
You want Kevin James?
No, I don't want
Kevin James. James. If you had no, hot shot. You don't like Jason Momoa. Who do you want for Frosty?
Anyone but Kevin James. You do it. I don't want Kevin James doing it.
I couldn't do it. I'm not merry.
You know who could do it?
Shime's very merry.
He could do that. You know who else could do it? Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider is
Frosty
Snowman. No, you can't. See, you can't even do it. That's the thing is you can't poo-poo one casting choice if you don't have your own. Michael Fassbender,
Josh Gad.
Josh Gad doesn't need to get every role.
He's already been the Snowman.
He stinks.
He knows how to be a snowman.
Lukewarm take. He stinks.
You think so? Have you seen the movie The Rocker?
No.
With Dwight, it's one of those like underrated.
Josh Gad.
He's funny in that movie though.
Good news, Ryan, for Netflix subscribers or people who borrow somebody's Netflix password. Batman: Mask of the Phantasm is streaming on there. Great movie.
It is a great movie. And you want to know what else I found out today? I tweeted it. I teased it.
Of course I do.
4 Christopher Guest movies on Hulu right now. 4. They have Best in Show.
Unbelievable.
Mighty Wind.
Good.
For Your Consideration.
Fine.
And Waiting for Guffman.
Which is amazing. That's what me and my wife. This is a little peek behind the curtain here into my world. This is one of the first movies my wife and I really bonded over. She loved Guffman, and that's what I knew. She had a good sense of humor.
And Best in Show is just as, if not better.
So I personally like Best in Show better because I grew up a dog person. Like we always had multiple dogs my entire life.
May I add to the people listening, massive fucking dogs. Not like not cheapies. Newfoundlands.
No, so I grew up with golden retrievers, and then we had a couple of Brittany Spaniels at one point. My parents had Irish setters, but that was I think that was before me. And then we had those guys. We actually even did a couple of litter of puppies. We just wanted my parents wanted to do that. We didn't like go crazy selling them or anything, but we wanted to do that. And then we kept one of them. So at one point we had the mom and the son. This guy never left his house, never left his mom. He had a great life. Love that guy. That was Dexter.
That was Dex. I remember Dex was around when when we were in high school.
I had Dex in high school. But yeah, then right when I was getting out of college, my parents got 2 Newfoundlands, and those sons of bitches were the best. They were the best.
They were like
in the
bears.
World. They were huge.
I remember coming to your husband like they're like fucking bears.
Yeah, they're 150 pounds.
Yeah,
but they were bigger than that. Like that doesn't sound that big.
No, but they were like
see them like
all the hair,
so furry.
Yeah,
so furry. But anyway, so I liked Best in Show. We got an absolute kick out of Best in Show. So I'm kind of pushing towards. I don't have Hulu, but
you need to get Hulu.
They got some good stuff now.
You could just bundle it with Disney Plus, like just.
Yeah, I might have to do that. Is it too late? Because I already paid for Plus for the year.
No, I think you can upgrade it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the news I got, Ryan. Unless you got anything else.
Nope.
Should we get to your news?
Let's do it.
All right.
It's time for Davy's video game minute. Even if it takes more than a minute.
All right, what do you have?
Well, first and foremost, Richard, I have to do this again because this segment of the show is brought to you by Wild Bill Soda, wildbillsoda.com. Get you some big announcement from Wild Bills today. They're dropping teas on you.
Game changer.
Teas.
Game
not just
changer.
Wild Bill soda anymore. We got tea. We got half and half. We got Arnie Palmies. We got,
I love an Arnie Palmy.
Peach lemonade, regular sweet tea, and I think just like a regular tea. So like
an Arnold Palmy, top
Arnie
5
Palmies.
favorite drinks of all time for your boy right here. Top
And
5
like,
favorite drink.
So they're sending me a package, and the Juju who does all the stuff, who does all the stuff with the partners and stuff. She asked us all for our logos, so they're actually sending me a custom mug.
Fuck yes.
These guys are the shit, and they take care of us. They're doing a great job. And I've never mentioned this before. I want to mention this. They are veteran owned and operated, and they actually go out of their way to hire veterans to work for them.
Really cool.
So it's really cool company. Support them any way you can. Use the promotional code Ron Von D. Get yourself a little bit of a discount. So to get to the news here, I don't know if you saw the Dong report today that Dr. Joe puts out. It's a lot cleaner than it sounds. The Digital Red Sox beat the Pittsburgh Pirates last night 25-2, hitting 9 home runs.
Ryan,
yeah,
I saw some of the action.
I'm telling you,
piss rockets all over the yard.
I'm playing on all-star mode. It is not.
I was gonna ask, and I hate to ask, but there is a history here.
There is a history, but I promise you could see it like when the slider moves because it's
that was not rookie mode.
It was not. I was just
that was all-star mode, but you were just. It was one of those days. It was one of those
days.
Hot days. The humidity was in the bats, and all of a sudden the ball soaring out of the park.
Just jump. And the other thing too is I had played earlier with Dr. Joe on stream. We did a home run derby. I really think
that helped.
That was the game. That was the changer. Like I was fucking locked in.
That actually could be it. You should
Mitch
recommend
Moreland
that
hit 3 home runs.
Who did Mitch Moreland?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hit his 200th career home run. Thank you very much. JD Martinez hit his 42nd home run of the year.
I saw
July 5th.
Darwinzon Hernandez pitched 3 innings out of relief, and I had to break the news to you that he actually has coronavirus.
So do I have to take him off my roster then?
For 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Then he's back.
Some sad news here. Have you been following? So The Last of Us 2, I know you're playing it right now. You're not done with it yet.
Yeah, no. No spoilers on this.
No spoilers. It has nothing to do with the game. It has nothing to do with the game.
Because I saw certain things on Twitter, and like I tried
to
avoid it, and then I read like a
line,
and then I'm like, tell me what.
So the girl, so the the character Abby. So Abby's in the right. So the woman who was the motion capture actress for Abby. By the way, unbelievable job. All the actors in this game they're so good, and
she's
pipes
great.
On the fucking pipes. She doesn't really look like that, but that's so.
Well, it's like Rosie the Riveter. What they did for Rosie the Riveter, and this is a true story. You know who Rosie the Riveter is,
of course.
That is my dad's aunt. That is my great aunt. Yes, and Norman Rockwell painted my great aunt Mary was her name, and he painted her, but he did like this character in The Last of Us 2. Yeah. Exaggerated. She wasn't as jacked in real. Like she looked like that, but like she wasn't as strong as Rosie the Riveter is. But he just sort of did that and sort of.
Richard, we have known each other for almost 25 years.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn something new about your partner. So this poor girl. So people are, because of the events that happen in the game. You haven't finished yet, but you've seen some events that happen. People have been going on Twitter and saying they're going to murder her and find her and kill her kids and like burn her house down. Like really. And then
what? So
Neil Druckmann, the director of the game, came to her defense and was like, chill the fuck out. And then people went at him. So like people need to chill the fuck out. All right. It's a video game. I understand that people have been locked indoors and people were, people have been, anticipating this.
We'll try to do a whole episode.
We'll do a whole episode of it.
Maybe next week. I want to say like 17 hours into the game.
Yeah, you're almost there.
So I got a little bit more work. I'll tell you off air. I'll tell you off air exactly where I am.
Okay.
And then you can sort of tell me how much more time I have.
Yep.
But I know that they got crushed for like the user scores in certain places.
They did.
But it's
on
the
Metacritic especially. Yeah.
Same bullshit as Captain Marvel and Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy still to me that there are that many people that would go on there and be like, oh, like I assume it's because it's 2 female characters that you play and one of them happens to be a lesbian. I'm guessing that's why people are up in arms.
But it's shit like that. I mean, like,
come on.
One of the, like, you don't know, there's no James Gunn, Sean Gunn. Like, this is entertainment that you are doing. You're participating in willingly. You don't have to do that. If you don't like it, don't fucking do it.
It's a great game. It's a great fucking game. And like, if you're upset about, I don't know what you'd be upset about, but we'll talk about it next week.
The best analogy for this, and I know we're not doing so. Ricky Gervais does a bit in one of his stand-ups about like Twitter and like how people respond to him on Twitter. and how it's amazing to him that he can say something and then people take and like start fucking swearing at him and like giving him like death threats. And he's like, think of if you walked by a thing for like guitar lessons. If you don't want guitar lessons, you just walk by it. But like, imagine grabbing the thing for guitar lessons, calling the guy and being like, fuck you. Fuck your guitar lessons. Like, you don't have like, ignore it. If you don't want to, Jesus Christ.
I don't get people.
I played a little Iron Man VR. Ooh. It's fun if you're into it. It's not the best Tony Stark story.
Okay.
But that's not the point. The point is you get to fucking fly around and shoot things, and it's just the leveling system. I really like, people have a hard time with this, but like you level up your suit and you can like augment suits and stuff. And like one thing like isn't really that much better. It depends on how you want to play, which to me is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's not like overpowered things that you have to like wait till the end of the game. You just play the way you want to play. If you want to fly better, do this. If you want to shoot missiles out of your wrist, do that. Like
shit.
It's all how you want to play, which I think is a great idea. I would give it a 4.5. Soft 5 out of 6.
Oh wow,
it's fun.
Now,
fun game.
Did you figure out the way to
Can't
Twitch
do it?
that?
I can't do it because I'll need to buy like a piece of equipment that's like an HDMI splitter, which like
it's too much. It's too much for one game.
It's too much. But it's let's see, and I got so there's 3. It is the 10th anniversary of PlayStation Network, PlayStation Plus. So they are giving you 3 games this month instead of 2. They're giving you Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
NBA 2K, and an indie game called Erica, which it's kind of funky to explain, so I'm not going to explain it. But I'm actually going to try to play 2K and do a career. I'm not going to play online. I'm not going to do anything crazy.
Yeah, I did that to like 2K18. I did that. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm going to do like what's the Path to Glory? What the fuck it's called? Whatever.
Yeah. No, it was a good time.
That road. I'm going to call it Road to the Show, but like it's not.
What's the deal? I don't know if we talked about it last week.
What's the deal?
Have you heard this? Seen about this? There's gonna be a Suicide Squad game potentially.
Oh, and I also read that it leaked that the new Warner Brothers Batman game, you play as multiple characers. Okay, I know that piqued your interest. I know you piqued your interest.
That's a good segue here coming up. I think
it's a good segue coming up, and so maybe you get a little hood in there.
You better. I mean, you goddamn better.
So, did you ever play the Shadow of Mordor games, the ones that WB made for like Lord of the Rings?
No.
So they had this system where like they had these orcs that you like had to, but they were like tiers, and they were like bosses. So like the more you killed, like the more powerful ones showed up. They're gonna do that with Batman villains. So you'll be like, there's like bounties, basically. So you have to go and like people are looking for you, and you're looking for them. But I'm told it's multiple Bat family characters and the Court of Owls.
Yes.
So like
Court of Owls.
There we go.
Yes.
Which is a fucking great Batman. If you guys haven't read anything with the Court of Owls of Batman, it's the shit.
Oh, anything Scott Snyder Batman is good. But yeah, the Court of Owls.
It's basically the underground like Illuminati of Gotham City.
Yeah.
Is the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
And the Waynes were in it. They were part of it.
No, I think it was Dick Grayson's family.
That's what it was. And like it was like all like the big families of
Yeah.
Oh shit, Joey's sorry, I just saw this right now. And starting tomorrow, get this, speaking of shared Gooniverse, we are doing a duos. There it is, a Call of Duty duos tournament. I have been paired with Bertsky, Adam Burt, other Joey Gloucester's in it. Nick Fryer's in it, Shime's in it, Max in it, Wes is in it, Doc obviously. So like we have the brothers Shime, I believe, are in it as well.
How many teams?
10 teams of 2.
Oh, cool.
So 20 guys. So we're going to start that tomorrow. So we'll be streaming that. Someone's going to be streaming that somewhere. So
all right.
Hey,
Ryan, check the Facebook page.
Check the Facebook page. There's going to be somebody streaming at all times. So
Classic.
There you go.
Classic. All right, Ryan, you ready for the topic du jour?
I thought we were done. We're not done?
I'm glad you asked, because today it is, well, that's the topic of the day. Today it is best comic book characters not in a movie.
Not in a movie.
And it's already a long enough title. So I also want to say this as a caveat, as people are probably going to jump in the chat, which feel free to do. Mention some of your favorites. Not counting the animated movies, because DC has a very lengthy catalog of DC or I just said DC, but of cartoons, which are a lot of them are very good. Some of them aren't, but they've had a chance to use so many different characters. Also, like the Lego Batman where they had like a random guy. We're not going to use those, or like the Teen Titans. We're not going to use that stuff. Like, we're talking live action. We have to cast a dude or a lady, throw them out there, and they are now that character. Also, this doesn't mean their own movie, because I was looking this up online just to see if I missed anybody.
Yeah.
And a lot of the lists are of characters without their own movie. So it's like a lot of people here like, well, that guy was a villain in like 3 movies, or like that guy was a sidekick, or that guy, whatever.
We're talking about their own movie.
I'm talking about they haven't been in a movie at all.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. No movie.
All right, I'm going to cheat a little bit with that.
And I'm going to swat it away like the Dikembe. I'm going to swat it out of here. So I would also say there are plenty of guys that this might be a separate podcast of guys and gals who need better, who just were absolutely let down. Like Deadpool the first time before the Ryan Reynolds reboot.
Yeah.
So bad. So on the same vein, Gambit. Like Gambit was in a movie. Now, did they do him justice? No, they did not.
They did him dirty.
They did him real dirty.
When I heard Tim Riggins is going to be Gambit, I'm like, fuck yeah. How bad is Origins Wolverine, where they cast Tim Riggins as Gambit and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, and that's what they got out of it. And you missed.
Bad. They missed bad.
Oh,
Silver Surfer was one of my favorite characters growing up. Let down when they had him.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Multiple Man. I'll be honest. Growing up,
that was always one of your favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just kind of like a very side, like kind of like one and done kind of character. They actually had him as like more of a villain in that movie, X2, like whatever. Or was it X? Was it Last Stand? Whatever it was in. It wasn't great.
Did I ever pitch my X-Men graphic novel to you?
Maybe. What's the premise?
So basically, Xavier's School for the Gifted is just a school for mutants, right?
Yeah.
But like, not all mutants are like combat ready.
No.
So what if they were just kids who like went to school there and technically had mutant abilities, but they were fucking useless?
Yeah.
And then they try to like go out on an adventure on their own and just fail miserably all the time.
I kind of like that.
I can't, like, and people talk about, like, Meg Griffin with like the fingers, like your fingernails grow.
Yeah.
Like that's your super amazing ability.
Well, it could have been the New Mutants movie, but we're never going to see it.
Like, what if there was a guy who
just has like 8 legs?
Or like when the phone rings, like he knows who it is.
Yeah. He's caller ID.
Yeah. He's just like, I don't know. Like, I just know. He's like, don't pick that up. That's so-and-so.
Hey, your mom's calling. Like, yeah, dude, I know. I have a caller ID. He's like, yeah, but that's my thing.
I just want to let you, it's my thing. Just completely useless.
Maybe don't go to school here. Like, why?
Like, I'm sure, like, you're like, yeah, you're technically a mutant, but like people don't mind. Like, they don't mind that you like.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I have perfect spelling. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I know how to spell every word.
I don't care.
Great. That's not going to help me.
And then I'll also say Deathstroke is intriguing, but he was in the end credits of Justice League.
Sure was.
And there was a rumor that he was going to be in the Ben Affleck version of the Batman, and then that gets scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what holds for him, but he's technically been in a movie, so I'm not going to count him.
Okay.
So Ryan, let's start with DC, then go to Marvel, and then go to what I will call non-DC Marvel.
Okay.
Anything else? So right. DC, let's go ahead and throw out somebody who has not been in a movie.
Terry McGinnis. I'm going to go Batman Beyond. And there's actually a way you can do this that I mentioned to you off air that I think it can work. Because with Michael Keaton coming back as Bruce Wayne, as an older Bruce Wayne in the Flash movie, that sets up him as the old Bruce Wayne who trains Terry to be the new Batman Beyond. It's a no-brainer.
That's what Goose wanted all along, right? Goose wanted Michael Keaton in Batman Beyond.
Well, it's from the 90s and it's animated, so Goose fucking all about it. So.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
That'd be good. My list here is mostly Bat Family because the Bat Family is vast. It's also the best in all of comics, and they've done a lot of movies, but they've also repeated a lot of characters, both good and bad guys.
Yep.
But mine, without question, is Red Hood. Red Hood's my favorite character.
I didn't say it because I knew you were
You knew I was going to go there.
Yeah.
But this one is such a no-brainer because you can even do a 2 or 3 storyline arc, and you can have him being really young, and you can just do Death of the Family or Death in the Family.
Family, yeah.
Just do Death in the Family, play that out. Then you can do like Hush and then you could do Under the Red Hood. You could basically, or the problem is DC would probably try to shoehorn all those into one movie.
Right.
The way
and the thing is, like,
things.
so correct me if I'm wrong, but the only Robin who's ever been on screen is Dick Grayson.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So so Nightwing's kind of out, right? Is Nightwing's out?
So Nightwing I put on there with an asterisk because Dick Grayson is in. Obviously, he's in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
But there's no Nightwing yet.
Yeah.
So I could use Nightwing, but Red Hood to me makes the most sense. You could really do all of the Robins. You could do Damian Wayne. You could do Tim Drake. You could do something.
Or if you do like Battle for the Cowl?
You could do Battle for the Cowl. There was also, so if you wanted to go Death of the Family, that storyline,
that was
where
great.
It brings everybody in from the New 52, and you have Batman dealing with like all of them being held captive by the Joker. So you could do that. But there's so much good stuff with Red Hood and Joker. I said before I would cast Michael B. Jordan as Red Hood.
Yeah,
I think you could do. Wasn't the rumor Taron Egerton?
Which is that's a perfect cast. He'd be unbelievable.
He'd be great. But I think it's also a great character because you could use him in a variety of ways. Like he could be in one Batman movie. He could be like the main villain, right? Yeah. Where Batman's not going to kill him, and Batman's going to try to break through to him, but he's killing too many people, and you're like, fuck, I got to put a stop to this. You could have the whole thing in Hush where Batman's like, is this legit? Is he alive? Is he not alive? The stuff with Talia al Ghul bringing him to the Lazarus pit and saving his life. Like there's so much stuff with Red Hood that now there was a theory that the Robin suit in, was it Batman v Superman or was it
the one that said you let him die or something like that. That was Jason Todd's.
What was that from?
Suicide
Squad?
No, that was Batman v Superman.
Okay.
Where you saw it and it was like, it was spray painted.
Confusing at all. Yeah.
You know what pissed me off? Like, why would you leave it like that?
Well, I'm sure you have to watch the director's cut to find out.
Why would you watch it like that? Why would you leave it? Why would you leave the spray paint on it? Like, watch
as a reminder. As a reminder, Ryan.
That's dark.
All right, that's my next guy. Yeah. Who's your guy?
So this movie, I was told that this was going to get made with Jim Carrey, and then it never happened. Plastic Man.
Plastic Man.
Well, yeah, because hear me out. Okay, so
you want a Plastic Man movie?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. I will be the first to admit I was wrong. I was all out on Shazam. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like,
you were. I remember
stupid.
that. We can pull tape.
I was wrong. I will say it on air, right? Shazam was good. And the reason Shazam worked was because it was light. It's it has, it's dealing with kids and stuff like that. Plastic Man is one of the oldest DC heroes. And there was a movie in like the 90s. They were going to make it with Jim Carrey, which would have been brilliant. But now with they could still do it with Jim Carrey now that I think of it. But the technology is such that it would look really cool now. It would have looked cheesy and stupid back then. Now is the time to do it. And DC takes itself so seriously that like a little levity, like a little something that's like, and really lean into it and really make it like goofy.
Yeah.
And I think it would work. I honestly think that would work.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to go with the guy that has been forgotten in the movies, even though he has had a very long-running television show, Green Arrow.
Fucking yeah, man. There's so many good Arrow stories. And the problem with all of these movies, and I was going to bring this up with Plastic Man and Fantastic Four, there are so many characters in both of these houses that are so similar.
Yes.
So like you have Hawkeye, you have Green Arrow. Like it's the same. And they're like, well, it's the same character. We know it's not the same character, right?
Like Green Arrow is very much, he's Hawkeye, but he's also Batman.
Right.
Like he is the rich guy with no real superpowers that has all these different vehicles and all these different things they could do. But Green Arrow to me is a guy that and this is not to just shit on DC the entire time because they have made some decent movies or enjoyable movies. But if DC really had the long plan like the MCU did and wanted to establish a bunch of characters, now obviously Batman and Superman are your Captain America and Iron Man.
Iron Man, yep.
But Green Arrow is on the table of like the Avengers. Like, he's one of those guys, and maybe even more valuable than Hawkeye.
That's a great segue for my next one, by the way.
Okay, but anyway, I would have Green Arrow, and like some of these guys I'm going to mention or girls have been on TV shows, and like maybe people are like, yeah, that's enough. But Green Arrow to me, he's cool, and he also opens the door to like Arsenal, or like the Red Arrow
Mhm.
Arsenal, who teams up with Red Hood in certain, like a whole series of
Was
comics.
Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Red Hood and the
Seen that?
Outlaws is amazing, and his relationship with the Black Canary, who's a character we have seen,
We have seen, so that
we
works.
could see more of. Like
You have great source material like Escape from Supermax.
yeah,
Like that's some good shit.
Long Bow
But-
Hunter.
A person who's at the table who has yet to be seen on film, but there is a fan theory that he has been, but you just don't know it's him, and that is Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
So
Good one.
that founding Justice League member, who's super important, one of the most powerful characters in DCEU, or just in DC Comics.
Mhm.
And a guy who doesn't really get the love he should. I mean, he's their Vision, kind of.
Right.
So the theory is, and I think Zack Snyder likes to like play with fans a little bit. So a guy came up with a theory that the guy Harry Lennox, the guy who plays the general
Yes.
in all like those movies, the black guy, he was in he has the great voice. He was in The Matrix. You know what I'm talking about. That he's actually the Martian Manhunter in disguise. So he's been like working with them the whole time, but he's actually the Martian Manhunter.
So I think it's not out yet, right? The Snyder cut.
No,
because there's rumors that maybe
he shows up.
Maybe you get more Deathstroke, but maybe you also could either confirm Martian Manhunter or something. So yeah, I'm with you. That's one where it's like was hinted at, but it might just be more fan theories. But that's a guy who deserves to be there too.
Yeah, that's like doing. I mean, it's like doing, the Avengers without like Thor. Like
like throw him in there.
Yeah,
I like that one. I'm just gonna rip through some Batman villains.
Yeah,
who have not been used yet. Solomon Grundy.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen Solomon Grundy. Huh?
Haven't seen him. Haven't seen the Mad Hatter.
Mudman. Or Clayface, sorry.
Clayface. Mudman. He kind of looks like Mudman.
That's what I called him when I was a kid, and that wasn't his real name.
Clayface is good.
Yeah.
Professor Pig.
Professor Pig would be
scary.
That's dark. I mean, they could do that. I would love that the Pattinson movie to have Pig in it.
Yes, Professor Pig would be great.
That would be sweet.
Hush, again, if you wanted to do the Hush storyline.
Hush would be great.
You want to do Hush? Was it Tommy Elliott or whatever? And you're going to laugh at me, but if you do Batman The Long Halloween, you got to have Calendar Man. Calendar Man.
Yeah.
Basically, he's like Hannibal Lecter in that regard. He's obsessed with dates. He loves dates. But throw Calendar Man in there.
And I also think that like there's a way with these absurd. It's all absurd, but like to like the more out there characters, there's a way to do it in a really cool way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I think so. I think in the right hands, you could pull off all of those characters.
How about Lobo?
There's wasn't there a rumor that he might get something?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Dwayne The Rock, and then he signed up for Black Adam, but he was originally signed on to do Lobo.
Right.
Like Lobo's fucking cool. Like Lobo's badass. I used to read, that was in the time of my life when I was reading side by side. I was reading Lobo and the Max. Remember the Max? The big purple guy with like he's got like the big like
hand.
I was reading those super weird comics at that time, and what's the other one I was reading? Wildcats. A lot of image. It was a lot of image.
I read. Wildcats look great. Was that the one with
Grifter? With the he was like basically Deadpool.
And then didn't Grifter eventually somehow land into DC? Like somehow when Image fell apart, DC got Grifter.
Some of the and I think it was who was it? Lee. I forget who did Jim Lee did all the art and like comic for that. So there you go. There's
cool
my
one.
DC. Yeah.
What about? I don't believe he's been in any movies. What about Sandman?
So that's an interesting one. That was on my list too. So I'm told that Sandman is going to have a Netflix series, and they're doing a read through of the comic as a podcast on Stitcher, and James McAvoy is reading the title character, and there's a trailer for it that came out today.
Oh, really? Oh,
we're definitely going to check that out because Sandman's badass. So
Sandman's nuts, and like
that's
Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's a lot, like you can't just. It's not light reading.
And did you see that? There's a way to fold him in. Did you see there's a Keanu's attached to another Constantine movie?
Yes. So Constantine, the more Constantine, the better.
Oh, I fucking love. If I were to be like
incredible, I love Justice League Dark. Give me all the Justice League Dark you can handle.
If I had to be on a DC team, I would be on Justice League Dark.
Yeah,
me and Constantine just hacking darts.
I of course
Seeing
would be
ghosts.
on Teen Titans because of my boyish good looks.
Your boyish good look, yeah. You
Could
never
pull,
aged.
I could pull off like 18, 19.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would, you're a young man in his 20s.
That's right.
Me, on the other hand,
I'm in charge
just
of
getting
these
fucking
Teen
older by
Titans.
the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Have you seen the Teen Titans Go movie?
Yeah, I watched most of it. It was on
good.
HBO. I don't know if I finished it, but I enjoyed it.
It's good, yeah.
Well, I liked it. The other guy that I read recently, it was I think it was Tom King, Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, it could be weird though.
Yeah, it could be weird.
But I don't know.
That's it for DC for me. That's all I got.
That's all. But
the problem is, I think the problem I ran into, and you probably did too, is like, I want to see, I'm trying to think, like a Hawkeye movie, but like they've already used him. I would love to see them do.
What do you mean Hawkeye?
No, what I'm saying is like there's characters who like don't have their own movie, but who have already been in movies. Like the Riddler. Like I would love to see like a Riddler movie.
Yeah,
but I think he's going to be in a
standalone Riddler movie. Yeah, he's going to be in the Batman.
Yeah, and he was already in Batman Forever, which Batman Forever gets a lot of hate. I don't hate Batman Forever.
It's not great, Ryan.
It's not great, but it's better. First of all, it's better than Batman and Robin. But like,
yes,
what a joy, what a jaunty little romp it is.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember liking it, but
Bat nipples.
Yeah, who doesn't want some nips?
Yeah,
it's anatomically correct.
Bat suit blasting nips.
Right, you want to go to Marvel?
Let's do Marvel.
All right, I got a Marvel guy right out of the chute.
Yeah,
we've talked about this before. There's the easiest storyline already. They are going to make a TV show out of this guy, but that'd be Moon Knight.
I don't think the show is going to do it right.
No, and you need. So listen, you can't have every comic book movie be rated R. You can't have everyone be down in the dumps. You can't have everyone being. But this one you need to.
Like Deadpool
need
Logan,
to. Good Wolverine need to. Venom probably should have been.
Venom probably should. The next Venom definitely should be.
Mm-hmm. Joker needed to be.
Yep. But fucking Moon Knight needs to be a hard rated R.
Disney Plus Moon Knight I'm a little scared of.
I'm a little scared of it too. It's going to be like, well, I think The Mandalorian did okay with the violence.
Well, I like The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Got pretty dark in some spots, but
yeah.
We need to step it up a little bit.
We'll see.
But that's a good one. And this one, I said it was cheating a little bit. I'm going to go Adam Warlock.
I think that counts. I don't think he was in. Like, that wasn't confirmed.
They said his name, but they never showed him.
They never showed him. And then there was like those weird pod things, right? But
he was never on screen. But Marvel at this point has gotten we're getting smaller. With our one-offs, we're doing, all the Spider-Man movies are a little bit smaller scale. Black Widow's a little smaller scale. I'm trying to think of what else is coming out. Shang-Chi, Doctors. You need to go big again. So like when Guardians comes back and we get back into outer space, you need to bring Adam Warlock into this whole thing.
Yeah. I think you need to. I think you would.
And you need to have him interact with Stephen Strange and their relationship and all that. So you need to bring him in to the fold.
I like that. Speaking of like the smaller, I think what they did too, and the reason why some of these guys don't have movies yet is because they were going to, and then they got Marvel Netflix series. And I'm not going to do a whole rant about how the Netflix TV shows never tied into the MCU, because that's not what this is about, even though they're supposed to tie in, but they never did tie in, even though some of the characters were in New York and all these characters were in New York. And they never tie each other. But Luke
New York's
Cage,
a pretty big place, but it's not that big a place. We need to find each other at some point. You're like, I think where's Spider-Man from? Queens.
Yeah.
And Hell's Kitchen are like, you can fucking throw a baseball and hit it. Yeah.
Let alone if you're zipping through the city, then I got it.
You're gonna hear about the guy. Like, there's a fucking blind guy. Well, they don't know he's blind, but
they know he's blind. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, but like when you meet Daredevil, you don't know he's blind.
No, you don't. So Daredevil and Punisher and like Elektra and Kingpin and like those characters have all been in movies. Again, could all be better, but they were all in movies at the very least. But Luke Cage and Iron Fist were supposed to get movies. I think they even did some casting for it. And then they kind of fell through. Then they became MCU properties, and then they decided just to put them on Netflix. But you could put those two together. I think Jessica Jones was such a good show, but Jessica Jones we haven't seen in movies yet. And I think all of those would work again, especially if you are I'm trying to, not that they're Avengers, but you're trying to make like a bunch of new characters for like the future of Marvel. And because you never actually tied them in originally, like maybe you sort of launch them out at this point.
Yeah.
You don't seem all that fired up about it.
I'm not that fired up. No,
you seem kind of down on it. It's kind of dismissive.
I wasn't listening.
I said Luke Cage and Iron Fist from.
No, I was listening. I was kidding. Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I'm like, I think it was just such a letdown. Like the first season of Iron Fist and the second season the third season of Luke Cage or the second season of Luke Cage?
I thought wait, are you saying good or bad?
Bad.
Second season was trash.
Oh my god,
second season sucked.
Awful with Todd Bowles and the fucking run in the combat. That was so stupid.
That might have been season 1. Todd Bowles. No,
that was season 2.
Season 2 is bad. And then Iron Fist, or kind of reversed it. Season 1 of Iron Fist might have been the worst Netflix series. Then season 2 was actually not bad.
It kind of bounced back. It was kind of good.
2.
Yeah,
I kind of liked 2. What else you got for Marvel?
Marvel, I have Sentry. Sentry, kind of an odd character, but one that is arguably one of the most powerful in the MCU. If you recall, in World War Hulk, when Hulk comes back to Earth with Korg and Meek and with all his, once he takes over Sakaar, he comes back. The Marvel heroes enlist Sentry to come and stop Hulk.
Okay.
And the problem with him is his arch nemesis is another of one of his personalities. So the Void is actually like the dark part of his brain. So he's like schizophrenic. So he's very, very unstable.
Okay.
So he could be the villain and the hero in the same story. But he's powerful enough. He's the only one who could stop Hulk.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so it's kind of a weird character. I don't know how you would do it, but I would die to see the Russo brothers try to figure out how to leave him.
I can see that. I got one for you that I'm surprised you haven't named yet, because I know this is a movie that you want.
Yep.
Kraven the Hunter.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want him in the next Spider-Man movie. I want Kraven's Last Hunt to be the story.
It should be. Because that's one of the characters they've used so many. There's been so many Spider-Man movies, therefore they've used a lot of his villains, and he has really good villains. Like he's like the Batman of the MCU or of Marvel, where he has like just this great gallery of villains. Hobgoblins, another one that they haven't used, but Kraven the Hunter needs to be in there. It makes
too much sense. Like they have to do it because remember, this isn't a spoiler, but at the end of Far From Home, Spider-Man's now exposed to the world. Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah. Who would you cast as Kraven the Hunter?
Oh, see, this is great. I mean, like, I go back and forth because he has like that very like Russian look to him.
Now I know he's in the DC universe technically, but if you put long hair on him, what about Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Like he would be great.
I think you can pull it off.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan would be great. I mean, anybody who's got like that dark hair, like kind of like obviously this is not going to happen, but like Henry Cavill would be great. But also like, what if he was like not as massive, but like kind of because they're in that story, he becomes Spider-Man like during that time. So
so you would need maybe not like super jacked.
So it would need to be someone who's like kind of like an imposing, presence, but also like that same type of build. But
Sean Penn.
Yeah, like that would be great. Fucking Sean Penn. Fuck it.
He's nuts. He probably could do it actually.
And that's just such a great story. But what I was saying is like now everyone knows who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect time to bring in Kraven to hunt him down.
Love it.
Because he knows who he's looking for. Like,
love it so much.
It makes so much sense to like do it right now.
That'd be badass.
And the entire time, I'm going to throw a little wrinkle at you too. Kraven actually stops the Sinister Six from getting to Spider-Man initially.
Oh, so that
remember they're setting that whole thing up, right?
Yeah.
And now you'd be like, he puts the brakes on them, and you'd be like, no, he's mine. So he's racing them to get to Spider-Man. There's your movie. Michael B. Jordan could be.
Nicholas Frazier's got a good point. I could see Michael B. Jordan doing that.
I could see Michael B. Jordan. Hardy. I could see Tom Hardy doing it.
I could see Michael B. Jordan. Really, any of these. You want Hobgoblin?
Tom Hardy could be Eddie Brock and Kraven the Hunter. Same movie. He can Naughty Professor it. Just plays.
Do you think
everybody.
Michael B. Jordan could play Omega Red?
I do like
They haven't used
you
him.
don't. But you got to. So what if you did X-23 with Omega Red being the villain, and then you could throw Michael B. Jordan in on that?
I like that.
Because Daphne Keene's like a teenager now, so she's getting a little older.
Okay, she could do that movie.
She could do it again.
What do you think about Puppet Master? Would you want a Puppet Master movie? Now, Puppet Master's daughter was in Fantastic Four, Alicia Masters. She was going out with the Thing.
Yes.
In the Michael Chiklis
the blind
vehicle.
Girl. Yeah.
Yeah. But her father, who was not in the movie, he is the Puppet Master.
That counts.
Yeah, but he wasn't in it.
That's what I mean. That counts.
Oh,
that
counts. I got
that
you.
counts.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you
I
could
think meant like it counts like he's in a movie.
No.
Yeah. What else do you have for Marvel?
Namor.
Oh, I got one more.
Namor
was good, but as Eric points out, now you got to remind us. He said he was an Easter egg in the MCU.
So what they said was when they were in Endgame, when Black Widow's talking to what's her name?
Scarlet Witch.
No. She's talking to I forget her name. I'm drawing a blank right now. No, when they're on the screen and she's like, "There's huge earthquakes underneath Wakanda," and she's like, "How are you dealing with that?" She said, "We're dealing with it by not dealing with it." They're referencing because
is that what the one is? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, because they were talking about like we don't basically like in Wakanda like we don't fuck with the ocean. It's because like that's where Namor is.
Namor MCU.
And when I forget, why can't I think of Danny Guerrero's character's name in Black Panther? Why am I drawing Okoye? So Okoye is being like, we deal with it by not dealing with it. Mr. Sinister actually has been on the. Someone just mentioned Mr. Sinister. I think he has been in.
So Mr. Sinister was in
not First Class, but he was in Days of Future Past. He was in it.
Was he in Days of Future Past? I'm getting all the movie. No, I think Mr. Sinister was in the end credits of Apocalypse.
That's what it was.
Remember, because they did that random scene with Wolverine in it. Like they shoehorned that in.
But then he took all the samples, the DNA samples.
So he may not have technically been in it. So that one's fringy. That one maybe counts, but I believe he was sort of referenced at the very least. According to this site that I'm on, it says there are 2 scenes in the MCU, which are the Easter eggs for Namor and Atlantis. So if you want to use it that. Go back to Iron Man 1. It says, in this scene, you can see 2 circles with potential recruits. One
Nick Fury's thing?
No, this is Robert Downey's or Iron Man standing in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
He has like the whole map.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that we all saw, the easy one, is in Wakanda.
Yeah.
There's a circle in Wakanda. The second one is in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, is Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a reference to him. Yeah. Now the second one is what you just said.
Yeah. Okoye being like, we don't fuck with them.
There's earthquakes in the Atlantic Ocean. She tells them the best way to deal with it is by not doing anything.
By not dealing with it. And that's a reference, like we don't mess with them.
So that's cool. And I know you've always mentioned like they need to either have him, I don't know if you want him to have him be a villain in Black Panther 2, but at least like have him on screen in Black Panther 2.
He's gonna. I would like him to be the villain in Black Panther 2. And then
that would be cool. That would be cool. I have no problem, and I think a lot of times having another hero be the villain for a while is actually not a bad way to go at all.
No.
The other one I'm going to say, and this sort of circles back to Marvel Netflix or Marvel on Disney Plus, where they haven't been in a movie, they deserve a movie, but they give them a TV show, and that'd be She-Hulk.
Yeah, so I think I'm
interested.
It's planned to be a show, right?
It is. It's a Disney Plus show. It's all queued up to be. They have a better chance of pulling that off in my mind than Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm. And the last one I would mention, she's going to get a lot of play in the Avengers video game, but she hasn't been in a movie yet, and that's Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
she could get her own movie, and that would be good.
Couple of ones.
I would. Yeah, I just saw what Nick
I was going to say a couple
said.
from the chat here. CT Rebels saying obviously they don't count because they've been in movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with them. Iceman and Colossus Give me more of both. Give me better versions of both.
Better versions of both. Yeah.
Nicholas jumps back in again with Nightcrawler.
I would watch a Nightcrawler movie.
They crushed it though in X2. He was great
did.
in X2, but I could do more. I could always do more of.
And there's a lot of good stories. There's a lot of good stories.
Yes, true.
With him in it.
Rebel says, didn't Max say that Joni Lore, aka China, already played She-Hulk?
He did say that.
That is true.
That is true. He did say that.
The mystery guest episode, he pointed out where she.
Where you could find
has
her.
Been in a movie, so I take that back.
Yeah,
Ryan, non-DC Marvel movies.
So I went kind
comic.
of the graphic novel route here.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. What we're both thinking right now. I need an American vampire movie now. I need an American vampire franchise right now.
Yeah,
that's 4 movies you could make all in different time periods.
I think they did a smart job by not rushing it into movies because it's everything's cyclical and vampires couldn't have been more popular during Twilight, True Blood, Vampire Diaries on the CW and like
Blade.
shit like that. Fucking Blade. So you got to let it breathe a little bit.
You gotta let it breathe.
You know, Zombies took over for a little bit. That's kind of fallen down the wayside.
Yeah, what's the thing now?
Frankenstein's. No. What is the thing right now? Probably viruses. Probably COVID-19. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the thing is right now. That's what I think. If you wait another couple of years, I think vampires, you could steal the show again.
We got Morbius coming too. So.
Ooh, true. Well, do you though?
Oh yeah,
we're going to see that.
That's done. Oh yeah.
I know they made it, but I feel like we're not going to see movies. I have my good days and bad days. I feel like we're going to get movies. We're not going to get movies.
Straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, American Vampire was on my list also. That's a good one. I know they said that this isn't designed to be a TV show or a movie, but Saga is so good.
It's so good.
Somebody's gonna make it. Somebody's gonna force their hand. It might not be good, but they're gonna try to make this thing.
Hear me out. You know who could do Saga? HBO.
Yeah, this probably does need to be a series more than a movie.
And
a movie,
HBO,
it would be like 10 movies.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it could be 3 seasons. HBO could definitely do it.
Yeah, they could.
Look what they did with Watchmen. Holy fuck.
Fucking Watchmen was awesome.
Oh, how about so Nemesis, the Mark Miller joint?
Yeah, I watched that. I read that. Yeah.
That's kind of a cool property that they could do. It's like that he's the anti-Batman. And the tagline of the whole thing, and it got scrubbed, but it was like, what if Batman was the Joker, basically? And it's just can we say swear words on this podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Be careful though.
It's fucked up. Like that whole story's fucked up.
It's
like
good,
there's like he just messes with who like Jim Gordon would be, like the chief of police, and like this guy Nemesis just messes with him the entire run of the entire thing, in ways that like would make the Joker blush with his treatment of Barbara Gordon. Like it is some heavy shit.
Nemesis
like like he like I'm not gonna give too much away, but like the Nemesis inseminates the guy's daughter with the semen of her brother. It's fucked up. It's Mark Miller. It's like kick. I don't support it either, but that's why he's the bad guy. You know,
he is a bad guy.
But I mean, this comic's 10 years old, or 10 or 15 years old. So spoil it anyway. So at the end, you know, they get him, and you know, yada yada yada. But then the guy receives a letter, basically from a CEO of a company that helps rich guys become supervillains. So there's like more of them, and there actually was a sequel to Nemesis. I didn't read it, but there's a Nemesis too.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, because I read. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
And so the thing is this movie has been optioned. I think someone picked it up. I think Warner Brothers picked it up in like 2015. Like they picked up the film rights to it, but they haven't done anything with it yet. So it's still out there.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me look up Nemesis.
Okay, while you do that, so the other one I have too.
And not to be confused, it's a DC comic character.
It is a DC comic
affiliated with the Suicide Squad, but that's not the one we're talking about, right?
No, that's a different. We're
talking about
Nemesis.
The one in.
We're talking about the Mark Miller. He's in all white, which leads to the Batman's in all
Comics.
black.
There it is.
Yeah, his Icon Comics. Yeah.
There's also he was in Alpha Flight. There was one. So there's every single comic company had a character named Nemesis, but
That's
the
crazy.
Mark Millar one is the one you want to check out. It's only 4 issues. I think I have. Do I have it? I don't know if I have it. You wouldn't care if I did.
Here's a secondary character one that you might like. In the Spawn comics, there is a Gerard Butler would be a very good Nemesis, but in the Spawn comics, there is a detective team, Sam and Twitch. I think they would be a really cool movie in that world.
That would be. Two that they don't need a movie. I just wanted to mention them because the premise is best characters to not be in a movie.
Yeah.
Because they've both been really good shows. But two of my favorite comics ever are The Boys and Preacher.
Preacher should have a movie.
Preacher probably could do a movie, or like whittle it down as best you can to like maybe a part 1 and a part 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and just like do 2-hour movies or something like that. Because I liked the TV show, but you could cut a lot of stuff out. The Boys is such a good comic, and it's such a good. They're both.
I remember that. I watched the first 3 minutes of the next season too, by the way, and I remember that scene.
Oh, from
I
the
remember
books?
with what's they call like fire or whatever with the fucking guy.
Yeah. I forget.
That was awesome.
Too. But yeah, over there, that is nuts. But so those are two of my favorite books ever, and like same with American Vampire, same with Saga. Fables is another one that I love.
Fables would be cool.
Now, some of those characters technically have very much been in movies,
right?
But just
like
in that
Snow White and
correct,
Beast,
but like in that version
like,
of it, I think would be pretty badass. I would love to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eric's got a good one. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen reboot. Obviously, they've been in a movie, but they deserve better. Like, put them on the list of deserving better. That was a shame.
Why the hell is Tom Sawyer involved? Who's never in it? Shane West, get out of here.
They're like, oh, people know this. They'll put them in there.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I'm sure we're missing some. You guys can feel free to jump in the chat too. Let us know what you think.
Let's see. I got Why the Last Man. That was supposed to be a movie with Shia LaBeouf. That never happened.
That would be good.
That would be good. Nailbiter, which I've mentioned before.
Yeah, you like Nailbiter.
And Witches.
See, the problem with some of these is like these really well-told graphic novels separate from like so like a DC or a Marvel character, they have like really good runs. Like they've been characters that have been around forever, but when they are turned into a movie, these writers either take like one storyline or they just kind of like adapt the kind of like together.
Yeah.
But it's like Saga, American Vampire, Why the Last Man, Preacher. It's like I don't want you to screw with it too much. And that's why they're probably a lot of them better suited for Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime, Hulu.
I mean, it's if you think about it in terms of like one issue of the comic could be one episode. Like it makes tie it,
and
it's
like
tighter that way.
So many issues that like you don't want them to mess around with it. But those are great characters for sure.
Like it worked with Ragnarok where they had like that story plus Planet Hulk. Right. And they kind of mixed it like that. That worked, but
like look at how they dealt with like X-Men, like the Phoenix, like the Dark Phoenix thing. It's like you tried it twice, and you still kind of didn't. You didn't
because it's a fucking. I'm a hot take. It's not a very good story.
Well, some people like it. You know?
It's not very. The Dark Phoenix saga. It was a huge comic book event. It's not that good a story. It's weird. It's kind of dumb.
All right. Some people like X-Men stories.
I like X-Men stories.
Sounds like you're shitting on one of the biggest.
Man kills, God forgives. Do that story.
Okay.
Do some Whedon shit. Actually, Whedon. Did you see the thing Ray Fisher said about Joss Whedon?
I saw he didn't like the cut, but how come?
So basically, he was like he played ball. When a movie came out, like Ray Fisher was like Joss. He did a great job.
He played Cyborg, obviously.
He played Cyborg, and then someone asked him, and he's like, "I would like to retract strongly everything I said about Joss Whedon." And he went further and said basically like he was a prick to everybody. Like he treated people like shit on set.
Wow.
Like he was an asshole. Like I'm paraphrasing, but like that's basically what he said. Like he's super unprofessional. Like and this was in the whole time. Remember Joss had gotten in some trouble.
Yes. Yeah.
So this was while that was all going on. And Ray Fisher was like, this guy's completely unprofessional. He treats people poorly. He's like terrible to women. Like the way he speaks to people is like abhorrent. So,
all right. Yeah. So they're on that. I've never read this. Change My Mind podcast. Jumping in here, Nick and or Wes. Undiscovered Country. I know it's Scott Snyder, so I know it's probably very, very good, but I've never read it. So
I was thinking Star Trek. Was it Star Trek 4 was the name of was that the Undiscovered Country one?
That should be a movie then.
What is Undiscovered Country?
I don't know what it is.
It looks pretty sweet.
Again, if it's Scott Snyder,
I see Uncle Sam. I see what looks like the Grim Reaper riding a buffalo.
Yeah, sign me up for that.
I'll check that out.
Me up. All right, anything else, Ryan?
No, that's it for me.
All right, you guys can hit up the chat here, but what do you say, Ryan? We get to the old pick of the pod.
Let's do it.
Pick of the pod. Pick of the pod. Pick of the pod. All right, Ryan, would you like to kick, receive, defer, or defend the goal?
I receive, so I will kick. I will kick to you.
I'll receive. This is a movie that's on Netflix, and it came out last year. I hadn't seen it until this past weekend because it won the Dale and Keefe Movie Club nominee. Andy Hart was in last week. He nominated The Highwaymen. I'd never seen it. I was skeptical. It's a little over 2 hours. It felt like it was going to be a slog.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It picked up.
Kevin Costner, Woody Harrelson, based on a true story. The two men, former Texas Rangers, who are tasked to hunt down Bonnie and Clyde.
Yes, I remember hearing of the movie, but not having a lot of interest in seeing it. So now this might have swayed me a little bit.
Pretty good. Like I guess I could understand people being like, "Oh, it's like a little slow." But again, it's that kind of movie. You know, it takes place in the 30s or the Bonnie and Clyde time. The idea of Bonnie and Clyde, obviously, I really like.
Yes.
Right. But this is a different perspective. I saw the Bonnie and Clyde movie. Apparently, they took a lot more liberties in that movie than this one did. I think this one is more historically accurate. They really focus much, much, much more on the characters that are on the other side trying to hunt them down and like living in that world. And obviously, Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, it felt like they've both made this movie before. Like it was such a no-brainer casting. I'm just surprised that like what's his nuts wasn't in it. Who was the guy? It was Jeff Bridges. Like he could have been in it too.
He's supposed to be in this movie.
Yeah, right. Like it was that kind of thing. You know, guys, washed up Texas Rangers in the 30s that are like past their prime. Like yeah, he should have been in it, but it was good. It kind of moved right along for me, and I was fascinated. I thought they did kind of a cool angle. So The Highwaymen is on Netflix now.
A movie that I saw that I'm looking at Hulu right now. I actually started rewatching Fargo, the series. The first season of that show is fucking great.
It's awesome
with Billy Bob Thornton and Colin Hanks, and it's so good. A movie that I watched on Hulu.
How many seasons is that, by the way? Is it
3?
It's been 3.
3, yeah. The 4th season's coming out this fall.
Oh yeah, with Chris Rock.
Yeah,
I didn't love the 3rd season.
The 3rd season, but you know, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead carried that season.
She was so good,
and so was Carrie Coon. And
so you know me, I love Carrie Coon, and that was insane. I want to say Golden Globes, or was it the Emmys? Is that also TV?
Yes.
One of them nominated her for that and not for The Leftovers, and it came out the same year. And as somebody who watched both, it wasn't even close which one she was better in.
She was better in, you said, Leftovers, yeah.
Way better in Leftovers, but she got nominated for Fargo and lost. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, there was good act. Like even Ewan McGregor was good in it. But it just wasn't as good as the first 2 seasons.
No.
I am looking forward to the 4th season. But anyway,
so the 2nd season was the one with Jesse Plemons and the one with Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
That was the 2nd season. And the 3rd season, that was really good. They're all good. It's just,
they all are good.
And people really complained about David Thewlis, the guy with like kicking his teeth.
Oh, God.
Like that was
good
so
villain,
disgusting.
though.
But I watched a movie. It's fucking, I'll tell you straight up. It's weird. It's not for everybody, but I loved it. Jesse Eisenberg in a movie, and I forget, I don't know how to say her name. Imogen Poots. Is that how you say her name? A movie called The Art of Self-Defense. It's a movie that I always wanted to see, and like I got a moment to watch it, and it was actually like I was laughing my ass off. It's like super dark though. It's like super dark comedy. Okay. Jesse Eisenberg plays a nebbish kind of guy who gets.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me, right?
No.
You don't believe me that he plays like
Sounds
a complete nerd
far-fetched.
who's really awkward, right?
I guess that's why they call it acting.
And falls into a karate class. which helps him with his confidence. But there's so many like funny lines in the like situationally funny. Like he's trying to be like this. It's kind of like a satire on like the alpha male and like what it means to be a man. There's one scene, The Art of Self-Defense.
Okay.
And he's like he gets invited over and he starts taking karate. He starts thinking he's all badass. It's in the trailer, so I'm not. And his boss is talking to him. He's standing there like this, talking to his boss, like in that like karate pose.
Yeah.
And the guy's like inviting him over for a cookout, and he just fucking punches his boss in the throat, like for no reason. He starts wearing his yellow belt like out.
Oh, that's pretty good. Hey,
it's
yellow belt's
pretty funny. It's not bad. It's
step up from the white.
White is I liked it. It's not. I'm going to say right off the bat, if you say it's a Gene pick, I'll be like, yeah, it's a Gene
I
pick.
won't recommend this one.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
So Gene picked that one up and down. Yeah. There's no doubt. All right, Ryan. Next week, tentative in pencil. The Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming I can probably. What do you think? I've got like 10 hours left or so.
Yeah, but like it depends on where you are. Like,
I'll tell you after this because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, and we'll give people full warning. We've only done a handful of video games in the past, but we have done spoiler free. Like we treat it like a movie, especially like gameplay is one thing, but story we won't spoil it. So you can watch.
But like we talk about the art, we can talk about the music, we can talk about the characters, we can talk. I'll
talk about everything from the first one, right? Like I'll have you explain to everybody what the story was of the first one. Oh, and speaking of like what should be a movie and what should be in a movie. This fucking is a movie.
So they're talking about doing a series, like a Netflix series or something like that with this. And for me, I think it makes way more sense to do Tommy, like Tommy's life in between, like him going to Jackson and like forming that city. Like that should be the thing.
I could see that. I also think that,
but I just don't touch Joel and Ellie's story. Don't touch it.
No,
don't touch it.
You probably don't need to.
Like mention them.
Do shot for shot and make it a TV show.
Like you don't have to. Just play the game. You know, just like it's so fucking good. Oh, sorry, I'm tipping my hand.
All right. Did you like it? All right. Let's. If it's not that, we'll figure out something else. But we'll let you know on Twitter. Speaking of that, you can rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Tell a friend, tell a dork. Everywhere. Oh, and we had somebody in the comments. We're not on Spotify. That must be like a WEEI thing, because when we had our first Dork channel, we were on Spotify. Then when we switched to EEI and radio.com, it must be something with them, because I think we're everywhere else. Like iTunes, radio.com, Stitcher, Google Play.
Everywhere else. It must be something with like...
So unfortunately, I don't think that's going to change. But you could follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check out the Facebook group page. The hashtag Dork shared Gooniverse. Look that up, give it a like, and you can see what everybody's up to. YouTube, of course, it's mostly these videos right now, but we'll occasionally throw some other videos up there as well. It's just youtube.com/Dork Podcast, and we stream our episodes live on Monday night. Davey's on Twitch, twitch.tv/RVaughnD.
Yeah, we're working on the schedule right now. Once that schedule's nailed down, I'll let you know. I think I'm like in the Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday slot. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You can email us anytime. Questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism. Oh, actually, I have constructive criticism. I have some constructive criticism for you.
I don't want to fucking hear it.
You can email us dorkpodcast@gmail.com. You sure you don't want to hear it? It's helpful.
Oh, okay, fine.
So, as somebody who also makes drink videos, Davey made a great drink video for what he's calling the Wild Side Pile Driver.
Yeah, show the drink, right?
More lick. I need to see all the. Put the camera down.
I knew as soon as, but I had to get it out that day. And I was by myself, so I didn't have anywhere to like set up.
Nobody filmed it. Yeah,
nobody filmed it, so like I was doing it on my own. But I know how to do it now.
Yeah, because I like to see all the ingredients.
Okay, yeah, but like you could see my hands moving, and I would like hold it up and then do that. And
you did a good job of the presentation, and I could see what the recipe was. But I'm like a lot of people are very visual, and I like to see all the
next one's gonna. It's always what am I looking at? Like trial and error type of thing. Every time it's gonna get better, and I'm gonna use my real camera next time.
Whoa,
I'm gonna have a wireless mic on me.
Come on,
like it's gonna be
too much, maybe.
No, it's what I do for a living, man. Right. Yeah, shit.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll have the time to finish The Last of Us. That's what I really want to do the show on. I'm trying not to rush the game, but at the same time I really want to talk about it. So you know how that is.
Oh, I think I know where you are, and I have a great little factoid for you. I'm going to tell you off the air. But first,
Ryan, let me ask you one final question. What do they say about wombats?
Did you know they have square buttholes?